Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. Today, I'm a little bit off the beaten path because effectively, I always am upbeat and absolutely positive and do not feel as if I ever want to really go into the negative characteristics of something, but my guides have taken me into a completely different place. And that is to be in, to share with you the characteristics of a narcissist. And effectively, the beauty is of this program is that I never know what my guides are going to insist that I talk about until the morning of this talk or sometimes the day before. So I really have a very short window to prepare a speech. This time I was told on Thursday exactly what I was going to be talking about. And narcissism is something that really has made headlines in the last 4 to 5 years. Actually, since about 2015, when one of the world's biggest narcissists decided to run for president of the United States. There are many out there that will not agree with that statement, and that's perfectly okay. I understand that, and but effectively, these characteristics that I'm going to share with you don't have anything to do with politics. They all come from personal experience. They all come from what I personally was subjected to as a partner of a narcissist in my first marriage. So, what I'd like to do is just start with the list of what is in the mind of a narcissist. We'll get as far as we can, and then we'll continue next week if we have to. The first thing that you're going to experience if you have a narcissist in your life is that this person, and again, it can be male, it could be female, is going to expect you to toe the line. This person effectively will absolutely want you to be exactly who they want you to be. It's almost like Pygmalion, making over somebody. We've got a modern day version of that in My Fair Lady, and where she absolutely, Eliza Doolittle, could not be accepted for her Cockney self, but was transformed to be a lady. Well, one thing a narcissist will never accept is that you are okay exactly the way you are. But the dangerous quality about them is that they don't reveal themselves until much further in the relationship. They don't reveal themselves right away. Um, they One of the things that they always want you to do is when they beckon you, they want you to come. It doesn't matter what you're engaged in. It doesn't matter how much fun you're having. It doesn't matter who is there. If they are ready to leave an event, they want you with them and they want you to come when they call you. So you could be, you could somehow or other translate that into, oh my gosh, look at how much he cares for me or she cares for me. Not so. This is just an example of controlling behavior. Recognize it for what it is, because we have an incredible way of deceiving ourselves, making ourselves believe something that isn't, making excuses for the other person. And so, absolutely, do not be deceived by this type of behavior. A second thing that they will demand is that they place their needs above all else. It doesn't matter who is in the family, what their needs are. Does a baby need something? If they decide they want something, they decide they need it. And their needs are going to take priority. Doesn't matter if you can afford it, doesn't matter if it's a stupid decision. For example, you're a family of 3 and they buy a sports car that seats 2, doesn't matter. It If they want it and they feel they need it, they're going to get it. And whether or not you can afford it has no bearing on what they put as a priority. And they will find a way to make you feel miserable until they get exactly what they're after. Another characteristic, they make promises they have no intention of keeping. The promises can come one after another, or they can be very few and far between. It doesn't matter. They do not care if, in breaking a promise to you, a promise that you were counting on, that they hurt you mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, they don't care. They Their word means nothing. So you cannot get any kind of satisfaction from feeling that their words to you mean something. You pin your hope on them, but it's meaningless. And unfortunately, this happens over and over and over and over again, so that they make promises and they have no intention of keeping them. Another, and this is constant, they will criticize you. They don't like the way you walk. They don't like the way you talk. They don't like the way you dress. They don't like the way you think. They don't like the way you eat. They don't like the fact that certain people in your life love you. It doesn't matter what it is, they will criticize you to the point where you start doubting yourself in such a big way that you keep asking yourself, is this something that is integrally wrong with me? Am I that defective that nobody will ever see or get or like and or receive any benefit from knowing me? Because again, this is just a way of undermining your self-confidence, which undermines your self-worth. So do not ever, ever, ever accept for face value their words that diminish you, because they will be constant. They will just increase in every respect. So please, don't take that criticism to heart, because that's what typically happens, is that criticism then somehow or other becomes a part of who you think you are. You are not that. And don't make them um, feel, don't let them make you feel that that criticism is justified in any way, shape, or form. The next thing that they do is that they will keep your life unstable. And this could be something that where they continue to change jobs. It could be that they feel that all their bosses are insane, out of their mind, don't know anything, doesn't matter. It's they are going to quit because everybody else has a problem, they don't. And they cannot tolerate being in the same situation. So they have to get out. And in changing jobs, they are again keeping your life feeling like a roller coaster because all the stability is leaving your life. Or they'll keep you unstable by wanting to the point where it becomes a need, something you cannot afford. Doesn't matter whether it's a house, a car, a boat, a trailer, whatever it is, a piece of jewelry, a Rolex watch, doesn't matter. If they want something you cannot afford to the point where they're miserable and make you miserable um, until they get it, that's a sign of a narcissist. The next one is that they will have no problem leaving you in a lurch, which can boil down to you can be in another country. You can be someplace where you don't have a clue as to how do you get home for whatever reason because you and they will walk out and they will leave you to fend for yourself. And they it doesn't matter how insane this feels to you. All you're thinking of is how do I get back to safety? How do I get back to where I was? You could be driving down a dirt road and they could abandon you in the car. You could be driving down an icy highway and they can start lurching the car back and forth and get out in the middle of ice and snow and leave you there to cope with oncoming traffic. Doesn't matter. So effectively, it it is incredible. They could leave you in a subway and just get out of your sight as fast as possible, leave you to fend for yourself. Um, or you could be at a fun place, you could be at a nightclub, and they leave you to fend for yourself. So just know that this is typical of narcissistic behavior. The next one, and this is so hard to take, but they can scream at you incessantly. And in screaming, invariably the words, "You made me do this," will come out. It's always, "You made me do this," not, "This is how I feel." They constantly berate you, criticize you, condemn you, and blame you for every single thing that is wrong in your life. And they shift the blame. They find a way to shift the blame so that they are blameless. And effectively, like I said earlier, they always find a way to belittle you. This undermines your feeling of worthiness, your feeling of self worth, and anything that goes against everything that you ever felt about yourself. The next thing, and I think I've kind of covered this already, they will quit jobs. And these are not jobs that they're not suited for. They will quit jobs that they are suited for because again, they will always find an excuse for saying something is wrong with the job, with their boss, with their coworkers. The situation is crazy. They have to get out and they can't tolerate it. Could be that the average job lasts 3 months. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're trained for. It They could be in technology, they could be in the industries, they could be in the plumbing, electrical industry. Doesn't matter. They are unsettled, and the whole point is that it is to make your life even more unsettled. The next one is that they will argue with you constantly. They will pick an argument at the drop of a hat. You never know where the next argument is coming from. And you do not, to the point where you do not know which end is up. You do not even effectively, as you're listening to the argument, you don't even know what the argument is about. So you just have to know that their whole point is that they that is part of gaslighting. They want you to believe the opposite of what you believe about yourself. So just know I'm going to continue with gaslighting next week in terms of every single type of situation that could be out there that is related to gaslighting. Gaslighting is a term that all of a sudden, there was a movie on it called Gaslight, and in I think the 40s, but all of a sudden it's a term that has absolutely come to the forefront in the last 5 years. So we will continue with gaslighting and for next week. So I thank you for being here. I am grateful for your participation. And if you need a book on meditation, Own Your Power Day by Day is probably the best book on the market. Go to my website, Alicia, ALICJA, Jones.com, and I will send you uh, an autographed copy of it, and the price is the same as Amazon, and it's also the shipping and handling is free. So I thank you for being here, and I will see you next week. God bless you all, and have this. Hmm, Can't seem to end this.